They told us to give a disclaimer. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters, any guests, and do not reflect any of the management, owners, sponsorships, or employees of thereof. Pretty much, if you're soft, don't listen to this podcast. One thing I pride myself on is just being the same and trying to look out for my folks along the way.
Like, even with all these, big things happening, like, you still mad humble, and you still, like, you have enough clout now where you could easily be like, I'm not fucking with this, I'm not fucking with that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers, it's on. Unrestricted Podcast is DreRawka. Thank you for coming through. I got a very special guest in the studio right now. My man Hoops. How you doing, man?
What's up? How are you?
Good, man. I'm excited to have you on. I've been wanting to have you on because you are the in-cage announcer for Fierce Fighting Championship.
Yep, got it, man.
Home team. It's a lot of fun doing these fights. And I realized, I was like, man, I know you, but I don't really know you. And I know our community knows you, but we don't really know you. So I was like, man, let's bring you into the studio. Let's chat a little bit.
It's probably a good thing. Yeah, keep it on the down low of everything that you guys don't want to know. But yeah, man, it's a pleasure to be here. You and I have talked about it a few times, and this will be fun. But I get loud and crazy in the cage, but I might be a little bit quieter here. But we'll get loud and crazy here too. I guess we'll make some noise. It'll be fun.
I think eventually we should have you set up your drums while I DJ, and we can just jam out.
Dude, that would be great. We got to talk to Zach on that, get it going.
Yeah.
Get some guitars, get some drums going. But
you're a busy man. You're hooping, right? I see you in the gym getting your hops up.
Yeah.
Do you have a background in like basketball?
Yeah, played basketball, football, baseball, the main sports. Even did soccer as a senior in high school, and yeah, grew up doing that. And that's kind of, as UFC came along too, it was more, I don't fight or anything or train, but study it and watch it all the time. And since it's come out way back when, we're coming up on 30 years this year for UFC. But so yeah, always the sports background, doing 2-a-day practices, and that was my goal this year. Turned 40 and was wanting to dunk at the age of 40. So it looked easy on the clips and all the ones that I did, but it was a good 6 months of getting my legs back, knees back. But yeah, we did it. We got it. I don't know what we're doing at 50 years old, but we'll figure it out.
Skydive.
That's what I just saw somebody doing it last night. Oh, it was Steven Seiler. Steven Seiler posted something about skydiving. I'm like, okay, that might be the next one. So
have you never done it before?
No, not at all. I don't know. I know I would be freaked out to do it the whole time, but I know I'd be able to jump. Like, I mean, you're strapped in with somebody on there. There's no choice. They're gonna just dump off the back.
And what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah,
you die.
That's right. You're having fun while you're going down,
and
man.
you won't feel it.
No, it's crazy.
There's no way you would feel that impact.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it should be like lights out, over.
Oh man, let's think about landing. It's crazy.
So Hoops, are you from Utah?
No, I'm originally from Laramie, Wyoming. Yep, grew up in Laramie, Wyoming, where the Pokes are. That's where.
Hold on, where the what?
The Pokes, cow Pokes.
What's that?
Wyoming Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they call them the Pokes. Like when you're leading some cattle through to, you're just poking them, getting them moving along. So they call them Pokes.
I thought, yeah. Don't they call them herders?
You could call them that too, but go herders. Yeah.
No. Go Pokes.
Yeah, go Pokes, man.
Okay.
There you go. You said it perfect, man. That was good. But yeah, Wyoming Cowboys, the university's there. That's where I grew up. I moved here. I'm in the insurance business. That's my day job. So I was an adjuster there. Wanted to become an agent, but moved down to Utah to be an agent because there's so many more people to hang out with and sell to. And then COVID hit, so couldn't really interact like face to face and chat with people. So I was like, I better go back to the steady paycheck, but still in insurance. I'm an underwriter, commercial underwriting, looking at these buildings type of thing, and like scoping them out, seeing if they're good risks, bad risks, that sort of thing. Super exciting, right? Super exciting. But I love it.
How's the studio? Is the studio high risk or is this
perfect, man? No, this is great, man. We'd write this on the policy all day.
How crazy would it be, Waldo? How crazy would it be if the light just fell on him right now? He's like, it's great.
It's all good. We'll file a claim. It'll be all right.
So grew up in Wyoming.
Yep.
Are you an only child? You got family?
No, goes girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. So girl, boy, girl, me, and then girl, boy. So I'm the fourth of 6 kids.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And Waldo, what's up, man? It's good to see you. It's good to see you again.
Have you met Waldo?
Yeah, he's been at Fierce as well.
He got fired. He got fired.
From Fierce?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They didn't like his camera work.
Oh, man. Was that because he was pointing the camera at me?
No. The girls.
Oh. Yeah. There's the ring girls or the cage girls. Like, yeah, it's that's got to be a tough one to take a photo of and not get yourself into trouble. Probably.
Exactly.
But that's crazy.
So big family. Sport, is this a sports family? You're very into sports? You guys?
Yeah, man. It's sports and music. Anything probably that my mom and dad could put us into and sign us up for to get us out of the house and so she could have her peace and quiet for a little bit.
I can relate.
Probably. But it was mostly just, getting us active. And that was back then when there was no phones and nothing to do you just didn't sit around. You were just signing up for everything. You were doing piano lessons. That's what we started out with. And then just jumping into every sport. And in Wyoming, it's so cold, so you're just you get short seasons of sports. You get a cold baseball season and soccer season, and so you're just kind of bouncing around everywhere you can and just keep. My mom was a swimmer, so swimming lessons was our first thing too. So it was kind of just anything we could find. I mean, my brother and I, after we picked up skateboarding. They had a skate park there, so now we can skateboard just to say, can we skateboard? Yeah, we can do it. So it's kind of cool.
What was your influence into skating?
Nothing. We were at work one day, and it was my older brother that came up with it, and he just said, I think he bought a skateboard just to get around and pedal around with, and he just ended up saying, man, I'm going to the skate park today. I've been going a couple times. You want to go? And I went with him. He let me try his board, and I went right to a skate shop, bought a board, bought the wheels, had him build it and everything, and now I still have that skateboard, and still that was posted. I posted something on that a few months ago in the summertime when it was warmer. I was out there when you're 6'3" though, you fall hard. So I got to remember to not go too fast and too crazy, but yeah, just the thrill of it, just the thrill of, can I do this? Probably not well, probably not at all, but I'm going to do it and try it. And everybody says, oh, I can't sing, or I can't do that, I can't play music. And I'm like, yeah, you can. It's just a matter of if you can do it well or not.
Yeah.
And everything is all about practice. My dad always said, perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice horribly, that's how you're going to be. But perfect practice, if you do it right and keep at it, then it makes perfect. So it's kind of stuck with me. Like anything I pick up, I don't know. Everybody says, "Oh, you can do everything." It's like, yeah, you can too. Do you want to? Come with me. Let's go do it. So it's kind of a cool little mindset. Do what you love what you do, sort of thing.
And that's why I love you, bro. Like you always said, you have such a positive aspect on life, and you're saying of love what you do and do what you love.
Yeah.
Or did I get that backwards?
Backwards. It doesn't matter. It works, man. Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And I was interested into your introduction to skating because it's so different for everybody, right? For me, it was hip hop. I got influenced by skating through hip hop because I learned a lot about new hip hop songs through the skate tapes.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. When those came out, yeah, that's right.
So I would go at a time it was called Copeland's, and I lived in Portland, Oregon. And Portland's a very big skate town. It's a very big skate city.
Yeah.
All through downtown we have legendary Burnside Bridge, right? And I was always interested in how people get influenced by it. You know what I mean? Whether if it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater or you just go into a shop and you buy a board.
Yeah.
Did you miss the banana board era?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. No, that's my brother said that's really all we didn't have any other influence other than we grew up doing the mainstream sports and skating, and especially in Wyoming, if you see a skateboarder around, that was the norm of just like, oh, that's a skater boy or something like that. And it was just like, no, they're just on the board having a blast, Shout out to Matt Grotehouse in Laramie, Wyoming right now. He's a year older than me, and he's made so many friends just from cruising around campus and you know, doing some flips and tricks and just doing what he loves, you know, and that's what my older brother Brian had said. He just said, man, we've always done the normal sports, 2-a-day practices, all this. Let's go skateboard for the day.
Be a little bit different.
Let's do it. Yeah, it was cool. It was
I like
cool.
that. Were you a poker?
Cowboy?
Yeah.
Oh, like played for him or anything?
No, I mean, you talk about cowboys and the pokers.
No, I've worked on a ranch. I worked on a ranch after high school, and we didn't mess around with the cattle at all. But it was mostly doing just labor work, fixing up the ranch, fixing fence, that sort of a thing. But no, my dad grew up in Star Valley, Wyoming. He was a dairy farmer there. His family did all that. But no, I was janitor. So yeah, that's cool. My dad owned a cleaning business for years, and so we were dusting baseboards since we were growing up and worked for him. And so yeah, I wasn't dealing with cattle, I was dealing with toilets. So it was cool, man.
Well, when you said that, I was like, was his dad a farmer? They grew up on a farm or something?
No, it's just and actually it's funny because I mean there's ranches and farms and you got your cowboys in Wyoming, but Laramie is it's a college school, so it's not, you know, I mean most of the people there aren't doing the ranch thing, but just Laramie sits right in the middle, and then all the farms and ranches right around it, of course. But Wyoming's so spread out and a lot of space for that, so a lot of land. So yeah.
What was your thought when you first moved to Utah? Like, have you been back and forth between Wyoming and Utah, so you're kind of familiar with Utah?
Yeah, I came down for BYU football camp all the time. We have family here a lot. But it's busy. It's just a lot of people, man. That's when I moved down here. I was like, okay, I'm going to use it for selling and for insurance, which was great. I could talk to anybody. But then at the end of the day, you're just like, man, there's a lot of people here. I just want to go to my room and just chill. But it's cool. I've met a lot of people. Still have way more to meet. You know, you're asking me, well, you want to know Jackson and Fierce Fighting? I was like, no, I need to get to know everybody else. So this is good opportunity for that too. It's cool to be able to walk into the cage or walk, you know, just into the Maverick Center and have people just, you know, hey, I follow you. And I'm like, I've never heard that sentence before in my life. I follow you on Instagram. Like, so it's cool. And I met a lot of people that way. And the MMA community, wow, there's some good people in the MMA community. Yeah. It's some good stuff for sure. It's
just crazy hearing you come from this small little town to being in one of the biggest arenas in the state. And not be, I mean, because the vibe I get is very much like you kind of want to be alone, but then I don't get that vibe when you're in the cage.
Yeah, that's weird.
You're very much electric. You're very much, we're in this together. Let's make some noise. Let's do this.
That's right. Well, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. But I always use the phrase, especially since I moved to Utah, it's like I love people, but I can't stand them all at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
But I get along with everybody. But it's, at the end of the day, you just want to. Everybody wants their own little space and peace. But no, I eat it up. I did a post right before we did the show. That was something like, "Do you guys ever get nervous?" And yeah, you get nervous. You get the shakes, and oh man, I'm about to go on. But as soon as it clicks, man, it's go time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's probably just from all the things we were put in. You know, baseball. My dad was huge baseball. Into baseball, and he wanted us to be, well, he didn't necessarily want us to be, but we were always playing shortstop, and that was the position we'd play in baseball. And we would pitch, so we'd be the pitcher and the shortstop, and then at some point, I think one of our catchers was going to be gone, and I just said, I'll be the catcher. And he didn't necessarily want me to be the catcher, but I was like, no, I'm going to be the catcher, because as a catcher, you're kind of the lead. You're a leader of the team. You're seeing the whole field. You're instructing people to do whatever. Pitcher, you're doing the same thing. And the thing is, you're touching the ball the whole time. You're always in it. You're always a part of the game. And then when we played football, as a quarterback, I was like, I'm not going to be a wide receiver, and I'm not going to be a lineman that never touches the ball. This is football. It's not foot stand and hang out. You know.
Yeah.
I want to touch the ball, and I want to be if we lose, it's my fault. If we win, you know, it's my team's fault. It's my team, but like,
you win together.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to be, I guess, it's not really the spotlight. You don't really necessarily want to be in the spotlight, but you're I don't know. You're just you're there to do it, to get after it. Like once the game starts or once the lights come down, you know, it's full on from there. So I eat it up. I love it. Zach, the way I got into Fierce was Zach's an insurance agent as well. We were in the same office, and he can't stand listening to me drum and listening to me play loud rock and roll music. And I love the band Tool, and he's probably sick of Tool right now. But when he started working the Fierce, actually it would have been a year ago, coming up like in 4 days, January 29th, I think was last year. He just said, hey, he called when he was starting to work Fierce. He just said, he didn't even ask. He just said, you're going to be our cage announcer. And I said, all right. I mean, it was nerve-wracking at first, but you're watching Bruce Buffer too. Yeah. Anybody could probably be a cage announcer. I mean,
nah, I wouldn't say that.
It's a different thing for sure. But if you've watched it enough, you can pick it up pretty quick.
I think I don't think anybody can just do anything. I think it takes a special person to be dedicated. I mean, it's hard, and I couldn't do Bruce Buffers. Look at all those names.
Yeah.
Once we get to the Magomedovs, I can't do it. Sorry. Yeah. I mess it up. I mess it up every single time. And the same thing with you. We have a lot of people with difficult names, timing. Like, I sit back and I look, and because we're on the same page, right? We have to be on the same page in what we do. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm looking at you, I'm looking at it in a different way. When you're in your element and you're doing the announcing, I'm like, okay, this is what he's doing. Okay, this is what he's going to do next. You know what I mean? How much time does he need? I'm looking at the pay-per-view guys. They're still talking. Okay, I gotta make sure the song's good, because you don't want to play the hypest song and then have to cut it before they get to the hypest part.
Yep.
Right? The crowd ain't gonna like that. Mm-mm. So it's a lot of time and it's a lot of work. So I don't think just anybody can do what you do, because what you do is very special. Now, with that being said, when Zach says, hey, you're doing it, and you've never had any experience.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Ah, man, do what you love and love what you do, man. It's a matter of, all right, time to figure out how to do it and make it happen. I think that night I didn't sleep. It was, and that I go through rabbit holes and I go through my mind. So there is stress. There is kind of the nerve-wracking thing, but that whole night I didn't sleep. I was watching Bruce Buffer. I was watching, and again, I've heard it a million times, heard his voice a million times, how he says it, how he does it. But I had to then, really put it in my, I had to speak it out loud. I had to write it down. I had to start doing those things, and it flows pretty well. I mean, man, you and I, it's some things are different each fight. Even this coming fight, it's going to be fun. We got surprises for that one. We're going to change things up on how we do it. And I'm so pumped for that. I've been wanting that for a long time, how we're going to do that this round up in Idaho Falls. So stay tuned, Idaho Falls. Tune into the pay-per-view, because we're going to hype it up perfect this next time. But that's what it's all about, is every show, every game you ever perform in, something's going to happen. Something's going to glitch. Something's going to be wrong. It could be a big problem. It could be just something minor, but the show must go on. I mean, if you're jamming a song and you mess up, my brother always said, just don't stop playing. Mm-hmm. You can find it. You can get back on. And that's just kind of how we roll with it. There might be some time where I'm looking at you and I'm saying, oh, I think I was going like this one time. Yeah. I was like, keep it going, man. You just rolled with it just fine, because they were still talking. And, we don't have the cool earpieces and the Bruce Buffer suits and all this stuff. We just make it happen how we can make it happen. And if you freeze up, then that's where it's trouble. So have fun with it. And I mean, I've messed up a few. I think I called last year. I called the wrong. I think they both had names that started with J, and I called the wrong fighter's name all the way, just super loud. And the guy that actually won, he's looking at me and he's going like this, no, and everybody's looking at me. I'm like, what happened? And I just had to play it off and just roll with it. And it was just something that, it was dumb and nervous, but I mean, that's how it goes.
Hey, things happen, man.
And the biggest thing is, it's not about us as you and I, man. It's about the fighter. So, growing up, my mom, I remember state baseball tournament, she made a list of every one of our names and the phonetic pronunciation of every single one of them. and went up and brought it to the scorekeeper who was announcing. And I'll always remember that. And so that's what I do. I go to the weigh-ins. I meet each individual. I mean, I could text them on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and say, hey, how do you like your name pronounced? You can't figure that out on a phone. You have to actually have them speak it. And sometimes they'll come back, and what bugs me is when they say, just say however you want. It's okay, just whatever. And I'm like, nope, this is your name. Especially if you're coming from a different state and you don't have family here and they're watching on pay-per-view, I want your name needs to be accurate as it can be. And I'll still mess up, the tough names. I think the worst, I don't want to say the worst, the toughest one I've had is Sokuku. I messed it up. Sorry, man. Sokuku Armarsana. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know. I have one job to do, like a kicker. I just got one job to do, and that's make sure their names are pronounced right and hype up the fans, and because it's about them, man. It's about the fighters. We've had some great fighters, and it's cool to be seeing them come back in a little bit more, and get to know them again, and be like, all right, this is your cage name. Are you changing it up from Willy Vanilli? Is it the same, or what do you got going on? And some of them don't have fighters. We got to get those big heavyweights. They always tell me, I don't need a cage name. Just look at me, watch what I do. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Yeah. But I'm like, I love those cage names. You get some fun ones. So it's cool. Yeah.
I think it gives you an opportunity to just let your element take over and just give them a name too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You watch the fight, and then while that's going on, it's like, yo, this is what happened from blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
That's where you get boom chakalaka. That's where you get, the big finesse. That's where you get the answer. Like,
that's right.
A lot of these nicknames, in my experience, it ain't something that we give ourselves, right? The people give it to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I believe that's the case with MMA too. I don't know. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you get a cage name, I think you can choose your name, but I think in the MMA world, it's given to you by a coach or a team member, and it's it's not even really given. I think it's more or less like you earn it, like you earn the cage name in some sort of way, but I don't know how that all works. And that's another cool thing that I'm still learning the MMA thing. I'll watch it. I've watched it for years, but the behind the scenes of it is a whole different ball game, and I love it. I love listening to all the fighters and how it goes. Going to weigh-ins is a whole different ball game too, man. It's cool.
I've been a part of Fierce Fighting Championship for a year now, and this last one, 23, by far was my favorite one so far. And the crazy thing about that is I had major technical issues, and nobody knew.
That's crazy.
I had major issues. It was the sound. It was working with Joey. I was stressed out that whole thing, but I had the most fun.
That's crazy.
And the fights were I think it was like 12 finishes out of 15 fights?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
We had 12 out of 13. We were going to have 14 fights, but 12 out of 13 were finishes. Yep. And even that one that went the distance was
really good. Yeah. The chicks, man, all the blood.
Yep.
It was the bloodiest fight I've ever seen in Utah MMA.
That's right. Amanda the Glitch Lovato. Yeah, man. She was getting beat too. Yeah. She was getting, I think what opened her up the cut was an elbow, and probably the blood helped her slither out and sneak out and get on top and make the choke. But a lot of blood. That was a lot. And she's probably 5'1", 5'2", maybe. I don't know how tall she was, but you lose that much blood in that small of a body, man. That's dangerous. But she ate it up, man. It was cool.
The cool thing, going back to what you said about it's not about us, it's not about anything else but the fighters and the crowd and making sure we have great entertainment, right? It's cool to see these returning fighters and the pop that they get throughout the process of fighting. So for all the fighters out there, I've been in the Utah, local Utah MMA for over 10 years. I'm probably like 15, close to 20 years in being in Utah MMA. And it's cool to see people's progression, because I've been there for the Sharps. I've been there for the Berkmans. I've been there for all the Burgos. I've been here for all these guys and seen the ups, the downs, the guys that almost get the shot at the UFC, the guys that get the shot at the Bellator, right? Kofi Azitsu, shout out to my brother. I see all this, and now I'm seeing it while I'm a DJ, and now I'm here and I'm seeing these names on these cards, and I'm seeing where they start, and 6-8 months later where they get that pop again, and it's crazy because people are getting familiar with them, right? when you hear Hatch next time, because he had that big knockout, watch what happens next time Hatch walks out.
That's for sure, man. And that's something that I just wish I had more of, because you and I have to chat way more after this, because I miss all of that, because I just haven't been from Utah. Yeah. I didn't know really that there was a Utah MMA scene until I met Zach, and he said, yeah, I fight, and I've got a fight coming up this next month, and it was just kind of like, really? Like I remember them having a couple shows in Laramie, but that's something I'm missing, and I'm like a little kid when I'm chatting with those fighters, and I get nervous when I see their photos being posted for their fights upcoming. I'm like, these are big dudes, and turns out I'm actually like 6 inches taller than most of them. But I know they would whoop me for sure. But I get intimidated because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Steven Seiler I've watched him in the UFC and everything, but like when he came and fought again with Fierce, it's like, man, these guys did come. Just you got to come from somewhere. Yeah. You got to come from somewhere. So I feel that I'm my own fan of Fierce and these guys, just because of that same thing that you just said. Like watching them, slowly, gradually go. Doing the Challenger series is a whole different thing too, where those are a lot of amateurs. And just to watch the amateurs, Dietrich fought in the Challenger series along with Antonio Garcia, and he came in. Both of them came in and they but they opened the Fierce show. They were fighting in a high school last, November or something, and then came into the big lights here, and that's only their second pro fight for both of them. That's something I'm excited to see, is watching them progress as they go. So it's really cool. I don't have that like you guys do here for the Utah MMA scene. I don't have that, and I'm excited to get it.
That's what I'm
excited to see it.
It's I wouldn't look at that as like a bummer. I'd look at it as like, yo, hungry eyes. You don't have no bias, and the city's getting to know you, right? So you're in a cool position where you could play so many different roles. You could just show up to the gym and be like, hey, can I get an on-the-spot interview?
Yeah, there you go, man. That's
what I mean?
I thought you were going to say get an on-the-spot role, and I was like, I don't want to roll yet, but they'll make me, and I'll probably do it. But yeah, it would be fun. That's right, man. But
who are some of your favorites right now?
Man, you gotta love the Zeke. That's a tough question too, because then there's favorites outside of the cage. Some, like I said, MMA community, the dudes and the gals and guys, all of them are just, they're incredible. They when I meet them face to face, man, they're bowing to you. They're saying sir. I'm not a sir. Like, man, I'm your buddy. Like, but they're so respectful. But Zeke, he's one of my favorites just because of last week. What happened with him getting the win with his father looking down and seeing that. So the emotional things like that, those will get me. I'm sure I'll run into a fighter that mouths off or says something. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that dude very much, but doesn't mean I don't want to watch him fight, because he probably did some good work and he's probably a talented dude. But I want to get to know everybody and find the favorite fighters, but at the same time, I'll go from any gym or any promotion or anything and watch anybody, because of just for the love of the sport. So I'm in the cage announcing, but I'm still a fan the whole time. I'm not really a cage announcer. I'm a fan of all of the fighters. So even tonight watching UFC, I'll be turning that on and tuning in. Just there's so many fighters out there, man. It used to be small, but I mean, you can go down a list and pick. That's my favorite. No, this one's my favorite now. Yeah. Just kind of keep rolling, but yeah, it's cool.
I really like, and I don't know if he started with Fierce, but he has some affiliations with Utah. Is Chris Curtis. Yeah. I seen him. I think it was at one of our events, and I was like, oh man, I recognize that dude. And then I seen him get the big win over Barkley?
Joaquin Buckley, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, that dude I know he has some type of Utah ties.
Yep. He's doing well, man. He's doing well. And I didn't know that either. No, I had no idea that he was a Utah dude until talking with Zach. And he actually, he came and commentated with Zach and Jason on that last year.
That's
on that
what it
January.
was.
Yeah, he commentated with him. Came up. I don't know where he's at. I can't remember where he's living actually at the moment, but he's with Sean Strickland. Those guys are from the same gym, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see. And now, he's doing well in the UFC too. He's doing well. Yeah, he's going to be a tough one for sure.
So going into Idaho, you're very excited. Twin Falls, right? Or no, Idaho Falls.
Yeah,
Idaho Falls.
We're bringing Twin Falls there probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a big draw.
It's gonna be a lot of
I
people.
got folks in Boise because one of my the program director at Kiss FM in Boise, he was like, "Yo, like we're hearing about this thing. We're hearing about this thing in Boise."
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the people from Boise are gonna be coming down too.
That's cool.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so you're talking about different changes. I think this is the first time they had a fight event in this arena.
It's newly built. It was just finished like around November, December, something. But
looks beautiful.
Yeah.
What should the patrons expect why should they go get a ticket?
See, that's a tough one because we're looking at Idaho fighters. So I'm asking the same thing myself. What am I going to expect from this? Because I don't know any of these fighters. I haven't seen them. I don't know we're bringing up some Utah people, but I don't know what to expect because I'm giddy as well. I'm excited for it, man, because we already can see that the stadium's going to be pretty packed, if not sold out. And it's all because these Idaho folks are coming in and they love the sport and they are excited to see their hometown fighters get after it. So that's a tough question. I think I'm more of the one of what I should be expecting when I get up there. But man, for the fans though, we're going to make noise. You have got to come and make noise. Again, I talked about being a commercial underwriter for insurance. We're going to blow the roof off. We're going to see if everything can shake and rattle. We're going to see if they built that thing correct. We're going to make sure that thing has all the studs in place and nothing's going to fall because we're going to get loud. It's going to get crazy. And again, all for the fighters. We're going to have a blast. I'm a little nervous because you're carting the cage, in trailers and a tire could blow, something could happen where it might.
No, it's not happening. Knock on wood.
That's right. So throw some things off, but it's still going to be able to pull off. We're going to pull it off just fine. And it's just going to be, it'll be a different change because normally we're just here in hometown and you just kind of walk in and show up. But took a couple days off of work, so I'll be up there helping and setting up and just as well with the other crew. Making sure that it doesn't happen, making sure that we just have a good show. And the goal is to put on a heck of a show so we're back there again, you know, and then in a few months after that, work with the Mountain America Center, build a great relationship with them and just say, hey, here we are, and, we want to be here and we want to keep coming back. And it's so cool. I mean, we talk Utah MMA, but it's so cool to go to a different state and make it happen too. So yeah, it's all about the fighters, putting them on a platform and just, sending them to the UFC, sending them to wherever they want to go and shouting their name out right, correctly and watching. With
your growth, you just kind of hinted at it, the growth of our fighters going from this league going on the ultimate league, right? The elite league of the PFLs, the UFCs, right? The Bellators or whatnot. Does Jackson Hoops have any dreams or any aspirations to take this in-cage announcer to maybe another level?
Yeah, I've thought about it. And I don't know where to even look. I was searching a couple weeks ago even, just how you even sign up for it, and that's just something I got to figure out and chat with somebody on. And you don't take necessarily classes for it, or you don't get a degree for it. Do you just? I mean, Zach just handed it to me, told me I was going to do it. So we were down in Orem, and he said, or we were doing that event, and the wrestling coach there, he said, "Man, you do a good job. Like, have you ever done any other announcing?" And that was the first time I really thought, "Whoa, I could actually do some." And he and I exchanged phone numbers, and I think they have an announcer for their wrestling team or whatever. But I thought, man, because I've grown up around sports, you're always hearing it in the arena for basketball games. You just do it, and so it's something that would be a fun thing to do. I just don't know how to get my foot in the door for it. And I don't know how you even sign up or apply or do anything for it. So it's kind of interesting.
In my life, in my career path, nothing was like by the book. It was literally just put my head down working, and then people seeing, oh, your talent could actually be used over here. And we need people over here, right? Wow. Whether if it's doing the radio, doing graphics, doing videos, whatever it is. I'm not a graphic designer. I didn't go to school for it. It was simply, we were in a pandemic. I needed flyers. I needed videos done. So I just YouTubed in and learned it. I think it's the same thing for you, bro. I think you have a great opportunity to get in our community, do some in the cage interviews, do some things, talk to the people. Because the more you do that, the more people are going to know you. And then when they know you and they see you in the cage, now here comes more opportunities from people that are like, hey, we actually have a promotion in St. George. Mm-hmm. We need somebody.
Yeah.
Let's take care of you. Oh, we have a promotion in Nevada. Let's fly you out to Nevada to get you, settled in. Because there's no, like, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think you'll ever see, like, a posting from UFC.
Never, yeah.
or we got the new PIA, whatever, boxing, whatever.
Yep.
I don't think you'll see a post of a job opening, rather them being like, hey, we need somebody, and that person that's hiring is going to be like asking around, hey, do you know somebody? Do you know somebody? Do you know somebody?
Exactly.
And they're going to talk to the right person at the right time, and they're going to be like, yo, we got our guy in Utah right now.
Yep. No, I would do it for a dance competition, like my sister has her girls in dance, and I went and sat there and watched the dance, and I listened to the guy on the microphone, and he goes, all right, make some noise for Jamie Lynn. And I said, he used my phrase and he didn't get loud enough. So I was like, but I would do it at a wrestling tournament. I would do it at dance. You just got to have fun with it and be loud. But man, opportunities are out there everywhere. But it would be sweet to say, hey, this Jackson guy, let's fly him out to Vegas or somewhere else to have him do this announcing. And even if it's for a monster truck rally or something, man, you're just on the mic,
That's another thing too. You're in the arena.
Yeah.
So why not? The monster truck show goes to the arena.
That's right. That's right.
So you got the connects. It's just about connecting the dots.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Do you have a highlight reel? Do you have a reel of everything that you call?
That's right.
And if you don't, you got to create that.
That's what we've got. We've got all those clips from the fights, and I'll do it. I'll screenshot my own clips, but I almost brought my tripod this time and set it up because I love the crowd noise too.
Yeah.
Like I love the crowd noise, and sometimes when you're listening to it, you like on the recording or whatever, you can only hear just our mics and everything, but I want to get one with the crowd noise going with it because it's so different. It's such a great feel hearing them get crazy when I'm getting crazy. So
yeah.
That's nice, man.
I love to kind of see where you are and where you're going with this because you have a great opportunity, man. I just say capitalize on it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Because it's only going to help not only yourself, but it's also going to help the promotion.
Yeah.
And it's going to help the team. It's going to help the fighters, right? The more you push, the more that's going to just help everything else grow.
For sure.
Right?
Definitely.
And
crazy, man. You're starting a fire. That's crazy. It getting me excited because I'm just going to be a fierce fighting championship announcer. And now I'm like, dang, Dre, like, I'm all right. Yeah, let's go places. Because it can be done. It's just like picking up skateboarding. Can I do it? Yeah, let's do it.
Exactly.
Let's roll with it.
It's far-fetched until it happens.
Yeah.
It's far-fetched until it happens. Why? Yeah. I was just having this conversation with one of my friends. I was like, why? Because there's always in Utah, in the Salt Lake community, there's a bunch of musicians, right? There's a bunch of rappers, musicians, bands. You're probably familiar with Royal Bliss.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people that have like Royal Bliss, I would say, made it, right? Like they're no name, they're a band, they've toured, they've had their own club, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much made it, right? But we really haven't had an artist or like a band make it to stardom, like a Drake, like a Post Malone, right? Like that type of name. And even on the fight community side, yeah, we know Berkman, yeah, we know Horn. Horn lives here now, but he's not a native Utah, right? And I was thinking, man, because we haven't had anybody like that since the Osmonds, it's like, why not somebody? Why not now?
Yeah.
There's no reason why not. It's just about doing it. You got to put in the work. And sometimes we let hard work and dedication and consistency hold us back. And I think you're in a tremendous space, in a tremendous place where you can take the bull by the horns and run.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is create the clips. Get your social media out there. Like you gotta feed this beast.
That's right.
Get the content. Ask the guys, hey, are you okay if I bring in a cameraman and have him dedicated to me or dedicated to the backstage? Why don't we have film of the cage being built? Like, why don't we have
that's right
behind the scenes work?
He does a good job with it, but they're not. Yeah, they do their own little posts. Like everybody kind of does their own off their own personal pages.
Now we need everybody to bring that to the main page so everybody can see this.
Blast it everywhere. Yep, I'm with you on that for sure. So. Yeah, it's just everything that goes on with it. Promoting the fights is one thing, but just the whole process of it. Nobody sees the behind the scenes. Nobody sees the work that goes into it. So I'm all about that.
And the thing is, and I hope people don't take this as, self-promoting. No, the way that I look at this thing, if you're creating content for yourself, that inspires the next person. Mm-hmm. That motivates the next person. Because a kid might not even want to be a fighter, but they want to learn how to put on a show. Yeah. Or they might want to learn how to build an octagon, right? Yeah. They might want to be a part of the stage crew. They might want to see how lighting is set up and things like that, right? That inspires the next generation to get involved. That inspires somebody to be like, hey, Hoops, Jackson, can I just follow you and intern underneath you and learn from you, right? That gives you a chance to help somebody else grow.
Exactly.
And that feeling, I'll tell you, bro, if you haven't had that feeling of helping somebody else get to the next version of themselves, it's incredible. Yeah. That's an incredible feeling. And that you have every opportunity to do that.
Yeah. No, even I posted just taking a clip and overlapped it with some Tool music to it or whatever. And my son he shared it to his story. And I got a message probably about like 12:30 or 1 a.m. One of his friends just said, hey, sorry it's so late, but I want to get into what you're doing. And I want to kind of see what's happening with that. Can I, how did you get into it? And it was a bummer in a way because I was like, I don't know how I got into it. It just kind of got handed to me, and I wanted to be able to say, here, man, go do this, go do that, go that. So I'm still learning, but it worked. It made an influence enough to somebody where they saw that little clip, and they said, man, that's fun.
Well, I think the answer to that kid could have been your story. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
Yep.
I was given an opportunity, and I took it.
Yep. It's pretty much what it was, man. Yeah.
And that's the big thing that I think hold people back is they don't take the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I've been invited to jiu-jitsu gyms. I've been invited to go box.
Yeah.
And I've been scared to go into those gyms and do that because there's an elite level to it, right? But if you would have been like, hey, you know what? I've never announced, and you're going to have me do it in front of thousands in one of the biggest arenas in Utah. Yep. If you didn't take that opportunity, you wouldn't be wearing that shirt right now.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. We wouldn't know who Jackson is, right? We wouldn't be having this conversation, but because you took that leap of faith, you got scared or you got uncomfortable and you got comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's right.
You were able to grow. So to that kid that was asking, how'd you get into this? Hey, I took an opportunity.
That's cool. Yeah, for sure, man. No, one of the funnest things I love is when, Sagen did it the other night. He goes, okay, now take that, and you play to it and, drum to it or whatever. Or somebody will say, oh, my sister, like 2 weeks ago or something, I jammed one of her favorite songs that I listened to with her cruising around in her car, and she goes, all right, that's awesome, but play the bass to it next time. And I'm like, all right. I got a bass guitar. If I didn't have one, I could have easily been like, oh, I don't have a bass. But that's what it's all about, man. It's like, all right, new challenge, here we go. Let's roll with it. And it wasn't like, oh, I don't think I could play that song. It was press record. Always press record and make it happen, man. It was cool.
Have you ever been in a band?
No, just my brother and I. We called ourselves a band, but kind of we just would jam together, but never. I think we played 2 or 3 places local in Laramie just for fun. But that would be, if we're talking about something where I take an opportunity and go for it. My dream has always been to be on stage jamming somewhere or the controlling the crowd. I think that's another reason why I love Fierce so much, because there's nothing better than controlling the crowd and making them do what you say, what you're, making them get as loud as possible or as quiet as possible, whatever you want them to do. That's always been a dream, is just to be on stage doing that. If it's rock and roll, if it's, just singing or whatever. But right now I've got it as an opportunity just as a cage announcer, but it's still just the crowd, man. The crowd noise is the best part about it. So that's something. Yeah, man. I might go home there and be like, wait a minute, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to blame it on Dre.
Yo, don't do that. Don't do
Dre
that.
told me I got to quit my job and I got to go be a rock star.
I still haven't quit my job, so don't do that. I'm trying to do like Waldo over here. You know? But so what was would you and your brother call each other? Like, what was did you guys have like a two brother band name?
We kind of messed around with it a little bit. I think one of the names was Unorganized Chaos was one.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, because a lot of times that's what we would do. We'd hit the record button and we'd just start jamming and see what just came out. But that doesn't sell records. You can't really just do that. You know, you got to. But we grew up on Palomino Drive, and it was in a subdivision, I guess. Just a neighborhood called Imperial Heights. That's what it was. And I remember we didn't necessarily like call ourselves that or anything, but if we were to ever have a band name, it would be Imperial Heights is what it was. So
have you ever heard of the Imperial Crips?
That's crazy. Are they across are they on the west side of Laramie where I gotta like be careful and not mess with them? And
they got the Crips over at Wyoming.
That's right, with the Pokes and the Crips.
The Pokes and the Crips.
That's right, man.
No, they're really your Imperial Crips, but no, I think that'd be a cool band name. I don't know why, but what'd you say the what'd you say the circle was, or the what was the street name?
Palomino. It's a type of horse. Yeah, that we lived in. The streets were named Quarter Horse, Palomino, Shetland. Those are all types of horses.
Palomino?
Yeah. Palomino, yeah.
Palomino Circle Band. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah, but what? Tell me about Imperial Crips. Is that a band or is that?
No, it's a gang.
Oh, a gang. Oh, it is a gang.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I have no idea. Yeah.
Do you know who the Crips are?
Yes. Don't know. I do know the Crips, but they're not in Laramie. They're not in Laramie, Wyoming. I don't know much about them.
What kind of gangs did you have in Laramie?
I think it was just, I don't even know if we even had a gang or a gang name whatsoever. I think it was just the little circles that you had, and you're talking trash that day and then your buddies the next day type of thing. Like there wasn't any craziness like that going on, man. Thank goodness, man.
That's how my in-law family is. They're all in Ogden. They're all cowboys, you know what I mean? They got the hats and everything. And literally we'll punch each other in the face and then we'll be sitting by the fire having hobo dinners.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, damn, like this is the life.
Yeah.
Like if I punch somebody in the face, I got to worry about them coming back and shoot me next week.
That's crazy. That's right, man. Yeah, if you can do that and somebody says, all right, you guys good? And then you give a handshake afterwards, that's the best way. But, man, yeah, that retaliation, I don't want to do that. That's scary stuff.
Did you go to university?
To the University of Wyoming?
Yeah.
No, I took some classes there. I actually went up and played football at Black Hills State for a year and then came down to Wyoming and was doing school there. And then I didn't actually finish school. No, I worked for my dad, and then after that went into the insurance business. My brother-in-law is in insurance too, so I kind of had a feel for that and kind of how that industry works, and kind of rolled with that ever since. But take that in stride too with everything, you know, you read insurance knowledge books and take tests, and it's boring and it helps you go to sleep at night to read and study for those. But that's something else I'll take, you know, full on with, you know, if I'm going to do this job, you know, it's another thing that I'm not going to just sit here and do it. I'm going to see how well I can do it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So, yeah.
When did you become a father?
It'll be 17 years ago, February 16th. I guess. So, yeah, I'm just trying to do my math. It is 17. She'll be 17. But so I have two kiddos. Chloe, she's going to be 17, and then Dylan, he's going to be 21 in July.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and he was born prior to Chloe. And then so when Chloe was born, then I ended up officially adopting Dylan when it would have been in 2009, so 7 years old. So yeah, so one blood, but both my kiddos, but he's my adopted son, so yeah.
How did being a father change your life? Like, what does it mean to be a father to you?
That's a tough question, man. It's hard because I think I've failed a lot on the father thing. It's a tough thing because they're up in Wyoming right now as well, and I'll have sleepless nights just because of that, just because of, man, what should I have done better or could have done better, those sorts of things, and that could be anything regarding the relationship marriage relationship or just a relationship in general with the kiddos. But yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to answer, question to answer. Cause there's no right or wrong book to read about it. There's nothing about being a parent. I'm still learning and still think I'm a kid sometimes and act like a kid sometimes. So yeah.
I think, being a parent is an ongoing process, right? Mm-hmm. There's days where I'm like, oh, I killed it. And there's days where I'm like, damn, I could have done better, right? But one thing that I love about being a father is the ability to just keep on showing up, man, just trying. That's all you can really do, no matter if you had a bad day or worse day. Like when you leave, if you want to call your daughter or your son, say, hey, just thinking about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just being in their face and just letting them know that you love them.
Yeah,
that's what means a lot, right? I grew up with a single father, so not having my mom and not having her there, it was hard because it was like it put me in a place where it was like, damn, when Mother's Day comes around, I was like, I'm gonna make this tulip and give it to my paper mache tulip and give it to my dad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But What is your like your brothers and sisters think about what you do in the cage? Are they like, holy shit, where'd this come from?
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's interesting, but they get it regarding the performing style. Like my brother performs at he is at Hale Center Theater down there in Sandy.
Oh, okay,
right next to
the
Mountain.
new one.
Yeah,
it's nice as hell.
Yeah, it's tight. It's pretty cool. But he performs there. So regarding the performing part of things, they get that. They know, okay, he's got a microphone. He's gonna kill it and make it happen. But it's the fighting thing that they won't ever come to a fight. And I'm like, come out, check out the fights. But I won't ever. Yeah, I get it.
Violence.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they came to the last fight?
Yeah.
With all that blood.
Yeah. I mean, I think that one of the first fights I did when I was cage side, I actually got blood on my shirt and blood on my notes just from blood splatter. I think that might have been Kent Mafaleo's when I think he cut open the guy had shaved head like I did, so there's like nothing to protect. It's just, and he gashed him open. I think that was Kent's fight, but blood splatter on my notes, and I took a photo of that and posted it, and it's something my family doesn't, my sisters at least for sure. I think my brothers would get into it, but yeah, it's, the fighting part's just different. They don't get that aspect. They get it that it's a sport, and when they, it takes the time and the practice, going to the gym. They totally get that, but they can't watch the punching quite yet. But I've got a niece and her husband. They just moved to Idaho Falls. They're coming.
Nice.
They're going to be there, and I don't know if they'll stay for all of it or just to hear my opening, yelling. Yeah. But I think they'll enjoy it. And if they love it, then there you go.
That's awesome.
You can come back for another one, but if not, they at least came to see Uncle Jay, and they were able to see him perform and do his thing for the fighters. But I don't expect my family to ever show up and be at the fights. It's a different sport for sure. But because it's a lot of impact and blood and guts, it's type of thing. But
when people you could literally die in there, man. That's the one thing that I always, and we haven't seen it. Thank God. I personally haven't seen it. Not even in the most elite level, which is the UFC. I haven't seen that. What is your thoughts on the new slap boxing?
Dang it! I knew you were mid question, and I was like, "Don't ask me slap. Don't ask me slap."
Because I was just having this conversation with my wife.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't like it. It's entertaining, but I'm like, these guys are just setting themselves up for a concussion. Yeah. And we've seen what concussions do to people with Junior Seau, with Chris Benoit, right? We've seen all these things happen where it's like, yo, because of something that happened on the brain,
it's scary.
Bad things happen afterwards.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I saw Dana. I don't know anything about the CTE is enough to talk about it. I guess I don't know because I've played football and I've had linemen throw my head right face first into the ground, and that rocks me. And I probably was concussed and had no idea and just kept going. So like I don't know how all that plays into it. I watched a video. He went Facebook Live or Instagram Live on Wednesday, I think, or something, and he kind of went into his discussing the concussion part of it, and he said they're only getting hit 3 times max, and then he was comparing it to, fighters, boxers that, oh shoot, what was the fight we saw last weekend that was it 245 punches or something that, oh man, who just retired? Go.
Oh, Glover?
Yeah. He got hit like 245 something times. Yeah. And that was a prime example of he even said it himself, I'm too tough for my own good. Like he should have tossed in the towel, but he just didn't, and that's his choice on it. But regarding the slap, Dana was comparing the amount of those punches compared to just 3 slaps, but I don't know, man. Glover
was at least he was protecting himself or trying to.
Yeah.
Jamal Hill's a savage.
Yeah.
But think about Jamal Hill just punching you in the face without you blocking it.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's standing still and just taking it. I don't understand that. The thing that I don't know if it's called a sport. I don't know if I would call it a sport, I guess, but I guess it is a sport if it's a competition. And I don't understand why they would have coaches and athletes, but then as I look at it a little bit more, I'm like, okay, there is a winding up process to it. There's a location of how your hand has to go. When I drum, I got to make sure like my hands and stuff are where they need to be, muscle memory. Yeah. So I know there's rules where you can't go above, up high or below the jaw or something. You got to, so stuff like that, I get that. Then there's rules, there's competition, there's sport, but I can't watch it over and over like I can UFC.
Yeah.
And even then with UFC, I'm like, oh man, this is another one that's going to decision. This was maybe a boring fight, but I'm like, no, they went to battle and they made it happen. But I just don't think there's not much to watch with the slap that changes how it goes. Like, okay, now we're going to go to the next fight. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
They're going to slap each other again. So that's the only thing I don't like about it is there's nothing much more to it other than just the slapping going on.
I'm nervous about what the kids do with this. And what I mean by this is growing up, I was heavy WWF, WCW, and we would do the stunners and pedigrees on people, right?
Yeah.
And even now, it's like when I see kids getting school fights, I'm seeing them pull jiu-jitsu moves and stuff. I'm like, yo, okay, they're mimicking what they see on UFC. Now, will we have the slap challenge? Yeah. Well, we see these kids in the bathroom slapping each other, trying to be like they're imitating what they see on the TV.
I didn't think of that till right now, man. That's a good point. Because then they're gonna do it all wrong with no technique and anything like that, and somebody's gonna get seriously hurt. Yeah,
they could break their hand.
Yeah,
they can knock their person out, and they fall. I mean, at least in this league, they got somebody to catch your head.
Which they don't. None of them even catch. Have you seen? Like, they don't catch them at all. Like, it's like you have one job to do is catch this dude falling. And I've seen so many clips where they just bam, and the head bounces off the floor. I'm like, good catch, man.
Doing somersaults and stuff.
Yeah. But they're not going to do that. They're going to do that in the bathroom, and bam, and they're going to get hit, and they're going to hit again on a bathroom sink somewhere.
Fall in a urinal.
And nobody's going to catch them because they all have their phones videotaping the whole thing the whole time. Like, it's just, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. That's one thing I don't like with the Dana thing. I've always loved Dana. I've always loved Dana killing it, and it's a prime example of him. I can do what I want. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to blast it. I'm going to make it a good show. I get that part, but I wish it was somebody else do it instead of Dana. I'm like, no, Dana, don't do that show. Like, stick with your UFC. Let somebody else do the slap stuff.
He's the untouchable holy one.
That's right, man. He can do what he wants, and if he's hearing me right now, that's my bad. But because he can do what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah, man. When Bruce retires, man, you got a man right here that's ready to jump in.
That's right.
Hey, Dre, would you calm down for a moment and just let me talk? At this point, you're just rambling, all right? What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Will Wonder, and I have a podcast called The Will Wonder Pod. I know, super original name, but I promise you'll love it. We talk sports, we talk music, and generally have some really interesting interviews with people that are doing some really cool things. So make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcast. Once again, that is The Will Wonder Pod. All right, Dre, go on about your business, whatever the fuck you were talking about.
What?
What is that noise? How good are you with noises?
They drive me nuts. I hear, if I'm at church or if I'm in my apartment, I'll pick out any noise, but I can also hear people humming or whistling, and I can be like, that person can sing well, that person has good pitch. But This game that you're about to throw me on, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
All right, man. 385-240-4666 is the number for What's That Noise. If you want to play, shoot me a text. You can call in, leave a voice note anytime, any day, anywhere. What Jackson's about to do is he's going to try to figure out what this noise is. If you get it right, I'm going to Venmo you $50.
Dude, that's cool. All right, let's do this.
All right. Now, I need one answer for you, but you could talk it out. You can be, I think it's this. I think it's that. Right? But at the end of the day, I need one answer from you.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Let's do it. What is that noise? 385-240-4666 is the number. Want to hear it again?
Yeah, because there was like 50 noises in there. I heard
You'll hear the main noise.
I'm going with car horn.
So, I mean, that's obviously there.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a car horn.
Is it not?
No, it's not. It's a different horn, but it's not a car.
Dang,
but that's not the noise we're looking for. We're looking for that main noise.
All right, let's do it again.
Now, previous guesses have been paper clips. I've heard opening up Oreo box, the Oreo cartridge, twisting the paper plastic off the top of a bottle. Those are some of the previous guesses.
Yeah, that would be my thought. Would be that something of a rapper of some. How many times we get to listen?
I can one more time.
One
I got
more
you.
time. Let's do it.
Are you ready? 385-240-4666 is the number. Get your guesses in. It's not easy.
That's so
being
tough,
cheesy.
man. That's crazy. It's got to be a rapper of some sort, but it's probably not. Like it's
You don't have
just
to be
something
super
that-
specific, but I need more specific than
Yeah.
just a rapper of some sort.
for sure. Oh man, and I could sit here and think of it all day, so I got to pick something quick, right?
Yeah. What is that noise?
No idea. I got to be quick too. Sorry, man. Because the Oreo wrapper thing was good. I would say, man, I don't know. I'm just gonna go for it here. I'm gonna say it's a Pringles can, but it's not the wrapper part of it. It's like grabbing the chips out of the can. Or yeah,
That's a really good guess. That's the wrong guess.
It's the wrong one.
That's a really good guess. 385-240-4666 is the number for What's That Noise. Tell me what this noise is, and you can potentially win $50. Hey, that was a good guess.
If it's a Nerd Clusters bag, that's one of my favorite candies. And if it's a Nerd Clusters bag, open it up, I'm gonna be super mad. But
I can't tell you because there's still
no,
people
that's
that can
fine.
guess.
You're good. But that's what. If it's one of those, I'm gonna be really mad because I ate a ton of Nerd Clusters last night, and so that's probably why I'm hearing that bag noise. But we'll see.
That's funny.
That'll be interesting to see what it is, though.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is host Beefy,
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
Cap. I accuse you of capping.
All right, Jackson, I gave you some homework. I said, hey, we're doing this segment. It's called You Capping. It's a take on, is this a lie or is this the truth? So give me your first one. This is your part where you get to host it, kind of.
No, well, speaking of Dana White, I've met Dana White before.
That's true because I seen a picture of you and him. That's facts. Tell me about that experience. UFC 281? Was it? No. Was it? What UFC was that? UFC 278? I think it was 78.
Oh, I don't even.
With Leon Edwards and...
here in Utah?
Yeah. Isn't that when you met him?
No.
Oh.
That's what's cool about it. It has nothing to do with fights at all. No, I went to this concert with Amy at DreRawka, and it was... I don't even remember now where it was. so I'm not gonna try and go on a search and find it, but it was just here in Salt Lake City. It was
Urban Lounge, not Urban Lounge.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was Urban Lounge.
It was Urban Lounge.
Yeah.
Yep. Tiny little thing where it's got like the little bar.
Yep.
That goes
up
right
on the east
there.
side.
Yeah, and
Yep.
you just kind of you can lean on the little tiny bar there, and it's just a small little thing. DreRawka he's from New York, heck of an artist, and he's coming out with an album here soon too. But heck of an artist, and he came down to Salt Lake. We went and watched him, and it was amazing because for one, on the con, I'm going to shout out him at least, but there was probably only 50 or 60 of us in that whole place. It's, you've been at an Urban Lounge. It's just a tiny little place. Not a big, I think it might have even been a weeknight that we went, just one of those types of shows where it's nothing big. And the dude, talk about performing. And if you're going to go do something and you're going to do it right, he did it right. Like, he just performed so well, and great guitarist, great animation, he's just a great performer. And even Amy and I were looking around, we're like, we turn our heads and we're like, oh, there's like only 20 of us here. Like, it felt like you were in a huge arena and the whole place was so loud and crazy, but it was just a small little group of us. And we were walking, we were gonna get some t-shirts or merch or something, and Amy ends up looking over at Dana, and she goes, "Is that Dana White?" And I was like, "Oh, that can't be. They're like, why would he be here or whatever?" And she goes, "No, I think that is." And the funny thing is like Amy hadn't watched fights very much before we had met, and so she started getting into the fights and watching them, and so she, recognized Dana, and he had his back turned talking to somebody, but she said, "No, look at his shoes," and they were perfect shoes. Dana with his shoes.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe it is. So then he starts walking over, and we're like, holy crap, that's Dana. And so I went up to him and talked to him, and this was right after Blake interviewed him for that Utah show. And so Fierce was already probably in his mind a little bit, maybe it wasn't at all, but the Utah scene and everything with Dana was already in his brain, that like Blake had just interviewed him. So I just said, yeah, hey, I'm the announcer. I'm the Bruce Buffer of Fierce Fighting Championship here in Utah. And we were just talking real quick about looking forward to the fights here. But then I just asked, what are you doing here, though? And he goes, I heard DreRawka was coming to Utah, and I flew in because I think he was coming from a fight from somewhere. And I said, you're supposed to be up promoting this or doing something, aren't you? And I don't know where he was coming, but he just goes, yeah, I heard DreRawka. I love DreRawka. And I just had to come and support him and come and hang out. And so, yeah, man, it was crazy. And then I was a jerk, and I was like, can I get a selfie with you? And I got a selfie with him, but Amy, the one that said, hey, that's Dana. I didn't include her in the photo, so I'm sorry. It was, but I was like a little kid, man. I was like, can I get a photo? But
he pushed her out of the way.
Yeah,
he was like, no, hey, yo.
Can you take this for me? Take this photo. I felt bad afterwards, but yeah, she's a trooper because it was cool to see him. But I think 2 sentences worth of fights, and all we did was talk rock and roll.
That's good.
When it was there, which was really cool. And he just said, yeah, I love these guys. And we were talking about another band that was coming and to Utah as well. But it was really cool to see him out of his regular norm. Yeah. And and when I went back and looked at the videos of, when I was scanning the crowd of how little and small it was, you could see him just in the back, and he just stood like that. And just was
security or no?
From the back, no,
just by himself.
They might, yeah. They probably had somebody outside in the car or something like that. But it was the coolest thing to be able to see him be this top dog, coming in and just watching some shows and then leave.
It's always weird meeting somebody that you always see on TV, right? And meeting them in person, because you're like, hold up, they don't look so like what they look like on TV. Yeah. Are you really? Were you like Dana?
Again, he was pretty tall or pretty small. Like everybody, I'm a tall guy, but I mean, he was shorter than me. And I thought, man, you look at him and you think he's this big dude, and just, except for back in the day when he was tiny, skinny.
Yeah,
he was a small guy. But yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, you just don't expect it when you meet somebody in person, and he was so kind. He was it was really cool.
That's awesome.
Anybody that did recognize him, he chatted with him, and I think that's how anybody that asked for a selfie, unless he's busy, but I can't think of any time anybody said that he's turned down a selfie or something.
Yeah.
It's Dana. That's your role. You got to make
Biggest
sure.
man in the UFC.
That's right. Mhm.
All right, what's the next one?
Oh, man.
For you, Capping, so far, he's telling us the truth. He met somebody really cool and famous.
That's right. Let me see. I sang at Carnegie Hall.
You sang at Carnegie Hall. Isn't that New York?
Yeah, New York.
That's false because you Capping. You never been to New York.
I've been to New York one time, and that's when I sang at Carnegie Hall.
You were telling the truth.
Not by myself, though. That's the truth.
Was this choir?
Yeah, it was choir in high school. My sister was there too. Every 4 years they would do a trip of some sort and go perform somewhere. And that year it just happened to be that we'd get to go play or sing at Carnegie Hall. So I didn't do it. It wasn't a solo or anything. That would be cool, but yeah.
How was
fun.
that?
It was out of control. You know, when I walked in here and I was like, "Oh, are these acoustics? Like, what's all?"
Yeah.
You know, it was cool. You could clap, and we had a song about clapping. Clap, clap your hands, all you people. And it was. I still have that memorized. But like, we would clap, and it would just echo off of. It was so cool. It was so cool. You could whisper. And it would just carry. And then once the place actually filled, it was just like the Maverick Center, man. You know, the acoustics and bouncing off the walls. So it was amazing. We did the Creation by Handel, just a huge piece with another, like a bunch of other high school choirs that were there, and then some other adult choirs that would join us along with the orchestra. So we were able to do an actual orchestra. I can't confirm or deny if certain people would fall asleep during some of the pieces because it's a long show, but it was cool. And then they gave us a chance as our own Laramie High School choir, which has always won massive amounts of awards for their performances. They gave us a chance to open for that actual orchestra. Wow. So it was cool. And so we got to perform a few pieces, and being there with my sister was way cool. It was a good time. Great memory. So.
That's awesome, man.
Man.
Carnegie Hall, man. That's legendary. Yeah. What next?
I've sang at Woodstock, Bethel, New York.
I mean,
where the
No, because you already told me the only time that you went to New York was when you sang there.
Oh, no.
So that's capping. You're lying.
No, that's a dream, though. That's a dream. So that's going to be one of those that where the Woodstock Festival went on there.
Hold on. Which... The night was at 98.
We're not talking that one. Yeah, not that one at all. No, that was a scary one for sure. No, the one, 1969, man. That one where you got Jimi Hendrix and all those ones. Well, I would love to play on that because they have a amphitheater now there.
Yeah,
and I think you can. I think you can actually. Well, I don't know if you have to sign up for it or what, but I think you can go there and. No, maybe that's Red Rocks. One of those two. I think you can go there and play a quick song and then bounce. And that would be a fun thing to do. Bring the acoustic guitar, scream something out there like you were at Woodstock. But
how often do you go to any open mics?
I need to do that. I need to do more of that.
Jackson,
especially
you got to get out, bro.
I'm sorry, man. I just I'd like to chill with my dog and hang out.
I know, but hey, look, you got a lot of ambition.
Yeah,
you can do it. There's plenty of places. We have open mics all the time
around
here.
All over. Yep, all over the place. And I'll make it happen. That was one thing in Wyoming we didn't have much of, so I guess I'm just not used to it. I'm just not used to being like, all right, tonight I'm going to go find a place and go make it happen. So just a matter of getting out and doing it.
And that's your way of introducing yourself to people. You know what I mean? Bringing more people to the fights.
Sure.
And then who knows, man? One of my really good friends, O'Connor, he's a part of a band. Well, he created a band called Murphy and the Giant. They're a folk band. I actually wrote a couple of their songs. I got credits on your guys' stuff. He started off with just open mics. He would just start off and all of a sudden he was like, hey man, I need people to be in my band. And he met a drummer, he met a guitarist, and all these different things. And I see that for you. You can really start your own band by just meeting other musicians.
Yeah. It's tough because I think my dream is, be on stage somewhere and perform. But then I quickly think, when I do those videos of me drumming and playing guitar and stuff and post them, that's fun and all, but I go in a whole different place when I'm drumming. Something just takes over and you feel it, everything, you feel, and sometimes it's, when I play and sing and drum, it's not for anybody else. I mean, of course I'm putting it on social media and and going and wanting to see how many people like it and comment on it. Everybody does that. Everybody loves it. But when I'm in the zone and jamming, sometimes, like if I was to go to open mic night, I worry that I'd let loose too much to the point where it's like, I don't know, because you're not really performing for anybody there. And open mic night's different. Some people might not even pay attention to you, but I know that I'd close my eyes and just let it go. And that's fine, because that's how you could get discovered, of course.
Exactly. You perform as if the world's watching.
Yeah, for sure. But I guess what I'm meaning is that's something that I like to hold on to, kind of a thing, like, and do that in my own little room and my own little thing. But
you broadcast it to the world, Jackson.
I got to make it happen. I got to make it happen, man. I got to do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yep. It'll be fun.
So you're a man of faith, right?
Yeah.
And you're very rock and roll, though. Is there any conflicts between very rock and roll and being a man of faith?
No way. No. So even in church not growing up a few years ago, I was the conductor, I would lead the hymns and everything, but I got to be careful when I'm posting stuff. I have respect for, family and people who are watching it. So I'm not going to be blasting out cuss words here and there, but yeah, man, I'll go regarding music. Heavy metal is just classical symphony orchestra. Is distorted. It's just a whole different. That's all it is. So I'll go from classical music to rock to, jamming to Cypress Hill the other day. Just everything. Eminem is a stud. So it's just a matter of what I'm going to post and make sure to be careful on what I post. But yeah, I can definitely feel that if you're listening to dark music and depressing music and those sorts of, lyrics and tones, all of it's good, whether it's happy music or sad music, but if you stick with it long enough, it can put your mind in a different place. So try and mix it up and have happy songs and good songs, but it's also how your life is going too. You might hear a song one day and, something hits just right for you, but not for somebody else. And it's just because of what you got going on in your life and how it rolls. But yeah, my playlist is like 12 hours long, the little playlist I have. And it's a soundtrack of my life, man. It's a pretty cool thing. Anybody that posts anything on their, Spotify or Instagram or their Spotify songs or anything, I'll make sure that I'll listen to that. I'll at least listen to the song all the way through and give it its justice to listen to it. Mm-hmm. It might be a horrible song to me, but somebody posted it for a reason. Somebody put it on their story with a heart, or somebody put something on there with a slogan or something that at that moment in their life that's needed. And one of my biggest fears, I'll lose sleep at night for this, but one of my biggest fears is knowing that I will never be able to listen to all of the songs ever played ever. Because it just can't happen. Mm-hmm. And that messes my brain up. I don't like it at all. It's frustrating to me that I won't be able to hear every single song ever recorded or even played around a campfire, played in a living room somewhere. So I'll take it anywhere I can get it. If somebody's posting something,
Your ears bleed definitely when you look at my story, because there's a bunch of F words.
No, well, no, that doesn't bother me. And it doesn't bother me at all. Like it's just that I won't blast them out. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, it's all good. No, I have no problem with it at all. I've begged you to play Tool, and I've begged you to play some more heavy rock and roll. So no, there's no different. Like rap, you could probably hear the cuss words a little bit more. Yeah. Tool, Maynard sneaks them in there a certain way where you're like, he didn't say that. No, he was singing about bread. Something. I don't know.
Top five. Your top five, you're on an island. The top 5 artists or bands that you're bringing on the island with you.
Tool, Blue October, 30 Seconds to Mars. You got to have Justin from Blue October. So the whole band doesn't really have to come, but even if Justin just came, but
so one more.
It's 3. How many did it give?
You said Tool, Blue October.
Yeah, and that would be the same as Justin. 30 Seconds to Mars.
2 more.
That's tough, man. Yeah, I don't know. Because they're so. there's so many that I don't know. Bob Seger probably. I'd have to jam with him. And then
Surprised you didn't say Metallica or something.
no,
You're not
I
a
wouldn't.
Metallica guy?
I like Metallica, but I wouldn't. No, I might do Bullet for My Valentine. They're heavy. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably Eminem.
That's a tough one for a music lover.
Yeah,
Because you love music.
yeah. I'd bring a Broadway show on there if I could too. Yeah, it's
Cats.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey Alexa, can you show me a new barber?
Don't worry, I got you.
Boogie Down Barbershop in Taylorsville is now open. Anything from gentleman's cuts, taper, fade, or if you want to treat yourself to a nice hot towel shave, Boogie Down Barbershop has you covered. Cuts for men and kids. Book your appointment today at boogiedownbarbershop.com.
And all the kids are treating me very nice. It's great.
Gee, I can't wait till I go to high school.
Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that.
Most likely to join a band.
Apparently it's me, because then now I have to go be in a band.
It's you.
Likely to join a band.
You can use yourself.
Yeah, let's use that for now. I
Okay.
gotta make it happen, man. You started a fire, so
Best personality.
best personality. Ah, man, depending on all the other questions you've got for me, I've got to go with Jim Carrey.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's my. So yeah, I'm quiet, but Jim Carrey's the man, and I've grown up imitating him and doing all that stuff. So that's another reason why it's easy to just go out there and just let loose and be goofy. But
I didn't know his real name wasn't Jim for a long time. It's James.
James, like.
James Carey is his real name.
Oh, okay. He just goes by Jim then?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Hollywood gave him Jim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting, but yeah, he's a different character for sure though. It would be interesting. If I was to ever sit on an airplane, I'd have Jim Carrey on one side of me and Maynard James Keenan on the other. I think that'd be a tight flight.
That would be cool. Most likely to fight in the cage. Most likely to put on them gloves and go and step in that cage. Obviously, people that haven't done it.
Yeah, dude, these are good. Most likely to fight in a cage. Slap or no?
Hopefully not slap.
Man, you should have given me these beforehand. But
No, that's why we get it on the spot.
I like the on the spot, but
We can come back to it too.
yeah, do that one. Come back to that one.
Most likely to move out of the United States. Pack their bags and just go travel.
This is tough. And we're talking celebrities or just anybody?
Anybody. We don't even have to know them. It might be a friend that was like, man, I really want to go to Australia. Could be anybody.
Yeah.
Jackson's sweating over here.
Yeah, man. You put me on the spot. Because you can't do a celebrity. They've always all been out of the country. I don't know. Maybe we can do Kanye. He's probably got to bounce.
Disappear. He'll do a Dave Chappelle and just kind of disappear and leave.
If anybody's gonna do that right now, and I don't hate Kanye or anything necessarily. I don't know much about it, but man, if anybody's ready to bounce, he's probably got to go.
Hey, he's back in the
for
headlines.
his sake, not for, yeah.
Punching
Saw that, man.
yeah, punching
Saw that.
paparazzi. But paparazzi, y'all be doing a little too much too. Like,
Did he actually punch him?
Nah, I don't know if he punched. He has in the past.
'Cause I saw a video of him just grabbing the phone and chucking it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let me be pissed for a second. I'm gonna grab your phone and chuck it. Let me calm down, and then I'll buy you a new phone. But for now, don't.
Yeah. Get it out of my face.
Yeah, get out of my way.
Especially when you're asking personal questions like, yo, what's up with your wife? And blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
it's like, dog, I don't want to talk about that, man.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Most likely to start a podcast.
All right. Most likely to start a podcast, I would say my son Dylan, probably. I bet he's starting to do some beats. He's starting to do some fun stuff. And I could see him jumping on a mic, making it happen.
Would you be a guest on this podcast?
Oh yeah. Well, no, maybe I might be the dude in the background, like doing all funny sound effects, and messing with him and just teasing him a little bit. But yeah, I'd be the guest on this podcast.
Like, Dad, hit me with the claps.
That's tight. That's tight. That's awesome.
All right, cool. Best dressed. Who's just super fly? You like their swagger. You like the way they dress. Can't be none of the fighters because they all show up in sweatpants.
That's right. Yeah, that's correct. Well, except for Connor, man.
Yeah. That's true. He does. He suits up.
Yeah. I don't like the way he dresses, but it's cool that he does it. You know, he's always talked about it with his dad. Like they've always just they've taken pride in that, so it's cool for them to do it. But the flashiness, though, I don't know if I could handle that as much. But best dress, man, maybe we do go with Connor on that one.
The Hardman?
Oh no, sorry, Conor McGregor.
Oh, McGregor.
Yeah, I was talking about Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, dude, let's do that instead. Instead of taking Conor McGregor, let's go Carson Hardman.
Okay.
Yeah, the perfect
Carson,
storm.
that's what it was.
Carson, the perfect storm, Hardman. Because let's do that.
Okay.
Good, man. Hey, thanks. Thanks for giving me an idea. Because he comes, he'll show up to weigh-ins in a suit.
Yeah. What happened at the end of the fight last fight? Well, you like give him some extra love, like extra pushing.
Yeah, I won't speak to that too much because I don't know what happened. But yeah, like when a fight's called off, the rule is, I mean, when a ref comes in and stops it, you need to stop. And it looked like he had stopped, but maybe not as quick as the ref might have wanted him to. And then after, when he got up, he just, you're in the zone, man.
Yeah.
You got emotions, all kinds, and
Fighting
I think
for your life.
Yeah, it's just like we're watching a basketball game right now. You get a technical foul for taunting or anything like that, and I think that in the initial instant was the ref was like, get off of him, back away, and he's like, okay, I'm good. So he stood up and then turned around and just did a little taunt or something like that, which again I don't have an issue with, but I think it got too close. And when you also have a fighter that might be rocked and might be out of it, that doesn't know what's going on, I just think it can be a dangerous thing. That's what the refs are there for, is to
a lot of emotion.
Yeah, make sure that they're just separated. But I think that was just what occurred on that. But I really don't. Yeah. That's just what I had seen in the video, or in the fight. But
I know the ref that he looked upset when I was looking down doing my thing, and I look up at the screen. I'm like, oh, why is the ref in his face? Crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've ever seen something like that.
Yeah, Dave's a good ref, and Tyler too. All those guys are awesome. They do a great job, and what a thrill for them to actually ref at the UFC fights here in Utah. But I don't know what happened with that, but he was making sure he's doing his job. I don't know.
Best dressed though. All right, we'll give it to him.
Yeah, we'll give Carson that one.
Okay, this one might be a little difficult, or maybe not. Most impactful. This is influence. Somebody that makes big impact.
Maynard James Keenan from Tool.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to give him that one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would assume
for many reasons. Yeah, just like he's a jiu-jitsu dude too.
Oh.
I don't know what belt he is, but his mindset's just intense. And then he owns a wine vineyard.
Oh, nice.
Operates it as well. He's just I mean, some people can be like, he's a little out there, but probably is, man. But in so many good ways. So Maynard's cool. Yeah.
Dope. All right. Most likely to have dinner with Joe Rogan.
Anybody. Holy cow. I'm gonna say DJ Stauffer, my sister, she's gonna go and have. I would like to see that. If she's listening or does listen to it, we're gonna get her on the podcast with Joe Rogan or dinner with Joe Rogan. But you could go with anybody with that one, man. Because anybody would go hang out with him. But I think it'd be fun for her, my sister, to go. Because you do a good job as well. Joe does a great job of keeping I walked in here nervous as can be, and you're like, it's just gonna be a conversation. And that Joe does a great job. You do phenomenal with it, and it'd be cool because DJ's kind of quiet a little bit too. And it's like he'd open it up and they'd have a good conversation. So DJ, you're on deck.
Yeah, you know right. They say never meet your heroes or never meet people that you look up to, right?
Ooh,
that's a tough thing.
I've never heard that.
You never have? So that's a saying. Never meet your heroes; they let you down, right? Because sometimes the people that you look up to, whether if it's the guy from Tool or whoever, they might not be, you might catch them at the wrong moment, right?
Yeah.
You might catch them at a Kanye moment where they're having a tough day and they don't want your, in your face, right? It could be a Dana White could have had a really bad day. You come up asking for a selfie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those things can happen. It might skew your vision on how this guy is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you might be like, oh, he's just having a bad day.
Yep.
So I'd be nervous about sitting with Joe because I think Joe does a really good job of being objective on many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like Joe so much, is because he doesn't just stick to one thing.
Yep.
You listen to Joe's show, he's talking to scientists, he's talking to rappers, he's talking to comedians, he's talking to fighters, everybody under the sun. He's talking to them with the same respect, with the same objective, being objective on the topic, right?
Yeah.
And calling people out on certain things. Like
That's
he
right.
did homeboy from Barstool Sports, I forget his name.
Oh, I can't.
The owner of the Barstool,
Yeah.
where he was like, Fury's not a boxer. Talking about Tommy Fury, he was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, he is. Look, he's literally boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like that about Joe.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'd be nervous about him being like, Dre, let's go get dinner.
That's crazy.
Plus, I feel like he would judge me. Like, he's ordering a nice steak. I'm like, yo, can I just get some burgers?
That's right, man. That's right. Yeah, like it would be even same with Jim Carrey though. That whole I would be nervous to meet him because he's kind of off his rocker to some people think that, but yeah, I don't know if that would be a good event for meeting Jim Carrey but yeah, Joe Rogan would be that's a great question right there that you have too, because he is one that would have a good conversation with to sit at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because he'll and depending on how much he smokes beforehand, because his stories and he'll take you on a great adventure of chatting it up. So I don't know.
Daniel Cormier would be another one I would want to go have dinner with.
Really,
I really like. I didn't like Daniel Cormier because I'm a John Jones guy.
Okay,
but as they were going through their trilogy, right? I was like, man, no. And then when DC lost his child, I was like, man, no. Like, DC is decorated, and then losing Kobe made me realize that I need to appreciate greatness while it's here.
Yeah.
Right? For the longest time, I talked
That's
down on
huge.
Kobe because I'm a Portland Trailblazer fan.
Oh, yeah.
And Kobe and Shaq ruined my dreams of getting a championship every single year.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I don't like that guy's a boogeyman. I don't like him. But now once we lost Kobe, I was like, nah, I need to appreciate greatness. That's why when Steph Curry's on, I'm like, yo, look at this dude do work. Yeah. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing with Daniel Cormier. He's champ. Like, he was knocking out heavyweights, man. Mm-hmm. Just super decorated and a great commentator. Like, great commentator.
It's crazy because I don't like him as a commentator.
No?
But he's a great commentator.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it's weird is I mean I make fun of him and oh man, now I'm gonna ruin it.
You better not say Enoch. John Enoch.
No, he's a stud.
Yeah, I like him.
No, go now. Zach and Jason are gonna kick.
You talking about Red Dragon?
No, the English British.
Oh, Bisping.
Bisping, yeah. Why can't it? Michael Bisping. I can't stand him talking. He's getting better, but like once they kind of started getting into the commentating a lot more, once Jogan started only doing the state fights, I just can't. Some things are just like, ugh, it's annoying to hear some of the things they do say.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have to like him as a commentator, but your question though, I think it would be a fun time to sit with DC and Bisping at the dinner table and just have a ball with them. So like, I don't have to like them as commentators, but because I hear them, and the things they say as they're commentating, I think I could see it. I could see the dinner table being a fun time. That's for sure, man. That's a good question.
Definitely. Okay, last one for the yearbook. Most likely to borrow something but not return it. This is me. Because I will always borrow my dad's drills and tools, and they'll sit in my trunk or something for months.
Yeah.
I'll never give them back.
Yo, that's a tough one. Because I don't know if I go personal of somebody I know or something and then ruin that relationship. Or if like, yeah.
It's all jokes, people. Don't take it serious.
That's right.
We're having fun here.
Borrow and never give it back. I don't know. That's a tough one. What would you say? I'm going to flip the script and do it on you.
Oh, definitely my son.
Your son?
Man, he always takes my hats, and then I just find I have a little hat rack. I look, I'm like, where's my hat? Where's my Lake Talk hat? Where's my stuff? And I go in his bedroom. There it is, underneath his bed, on top of his bunk bed, behind the door. Like, okay, so you just borrow it and you never give it back.
Yeah.
Right. But that's also me too. I'm not gonna lie.
Go.
These lights I borrowed from Waldo one day, and then all of a sudden they just get hung up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it might be me.
it.
Me and my son. Maybe I passed it down to my son.
That's good.
This horrible trait
Let's go.
of stealing.
Perfect. That's awesome. No, they look good. I like them. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
As long as they don't shine off my bald head too much. It's shaved head, not bald head. Shaved head.
Can you get the hair?
What's that?
Can you get a lock? Can you get some locks? No.
No.
Okay.
I shoot probably around 21, 22, man. It started thinning bad. And then my brother already had a shaved head in high school. And so it wasn't even trying. I wasn't going to try and do any type of haircut. It was like, all right, it's starting to thin. So I'm out. I'm going to shave it off and stuck with it ever since. Tried to grow it back a little bit here and there, but yeah, I'm not going to try and fake it.
My hairline is still receding. I'm just holding on.
Dude, you got some good locks, man. It's awesome.
I'm hanging on to them.
That's right.
Okay, nobody can borrow?
No, we'll stick with yours, man. You're good. I don't know. Yeah, I'll be sitting here for another 20 minutes trying to think of it, so you're good.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted Podcast with DreRawka.
We are?
No, they are.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and the
Funk.
G Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Like, yeah, they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on the Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and be like, and yeah, man, hey, and they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G Daddy Funk,
wow,
on the Lake Talk 801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
We're going to create a festival.
I think I already just said all my festival. Go for it, though, yeah.
All right. So we need a location. So where are we going to have this thing?
Well, we can't do Bethel, New York, because that's already been done. But
it can be anywhere, any place in history, any place. So where are we going to have it at? Where are you thinking?
Oh, man.
It could be a winter fest. It's a one-day festival. It could be in the woods. It can be next to a beach.
I'd put it on Mountain Air Drive, 83 Mountain Air Drive. That's going to be in Laramie, Wyoming, and that's where my parents live. They built a house out there, and it's on a hill, and it goes up into the Vidavoo type mountains and rocks and everything up there. So I'd probably put it up there, or if not in Vidavoo, where it's just full of rocks and hills and mountains.
Is Kanye West close to there?
Oh, no. Isn't he in Is he in Jackson?
Is he in Jackson Hole?
Or is he up
whatever?
in the Riverton area? No, I don't remember.
I don't know. I just know he's in Wyoming.
He's not close to Laramie, though. I don't think they let him in there.
What'd you be? Whites only?
What's... No, that's funny. No, I don't remember. He's more northwest up in that area, I think. I can't remember where, though.
All right, so we're in Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of not the greatest selection, but I think it'd be cool. No, we got to stick with it, or else I'm gonna just keep changing.
No, we're gonna change it. Let's go. We're in Wyoming. What are we gonna call this festival?
Why aren't you playing this game with me?
Well, I'm here. We can talk it out. So I'm thinking.
The reason why I wanted to change it because I was like, wait a minute, no, because when we go up to that house, you can't even open your car door without the wind just going crazy. So that's where I was like, so we got to name it something with wind, like just crazy wind. It's got to be something that way. But
wind fest.
It's got to be in a dome too. It's got to be a huge.
Okay, we'll build a dome. Lights. We have lights, pyrotechnics.
Yeah, because I totally was like, that's a bad place to have a festival. So yeah.
Well, I'm thinking obviously this is gonna be some type of metal festival, right? It's gonna be windy.
Yep.
So what do we get when we get wind and we get metal, or we get some type of high energy rock?
Well, we can call it. Yeah, that sounds just like unorganized chaos.
Boom.
That's it. That's the festival. Unorganized chaos. We'll go with that.
All right. Unorganized chaos, and we got to have a host. We got to have somebody that gets the crowd going. Did we put you there?
That's right. Action Jackson hooks.
All right. And the cool thing about you hosting is that you can actually play. You can get down on the drums. You can get down to whatever. Maybe you're doing like a 4-track and you just make your own song.
That's right.
Boom. All right. So you're hosting.
Okay.
All right. Now, who's the first act that you bring out? The person that's launching this whole thing.
Does it have to be like a musical performance, or it can be any performance?
It could be a comedian. It could be a magician.
Okay.
We might just call up David Blaine. Yo, we need some magic.
Yeah. So who's the little dude that hangs out? The little Russian guy.
Oh, you're talking about oh my gosh, Hasbulla.
Yeah.
Okay, Hasbulla.
We're gonna but he's gonna he's
co-host.
Yeah, he's gonna be coming out and he's going to be with Zach Partridge. And those two they're gonna do one round of wrestling because I can't stand Hasbulla, and Zach always sends me funny stuff on it. But that'll be the opener. Those two wrestling, and I'll let Dre pick.
I'm a reffing?
The ref or the uniforms that they have to wear, but I won't. Yeah.
Okay, Zach, you got to wear a leotard, and Hasbulla got to wear one too.
That's right.
I'm picking Hasbulla. All right. Okay, so Hasbulla pins Zach. It's over. Zach's out. He heads down. He's sad.
That'll be one of the funniest announcing I'll ever be doing at that point. No, but then I'll have to announce Hasbulla as the winner, so it might be the worst. But he's an all right dude. I just can't. I can't get it. Yeah, I can't.
His little punch. His little sneak punches.
That's right.
Okay, so we wrap that up.
Yep.
Let's get some music in there. Who's coming out next?
All right, we've got to have. Yeah, I was writing. We've got to have Eminem in there somewhere because I don't do as much rap, but he'll always be there. He'll always be. I watched him with, down in Denver, like in 2000.
You seen M live?
Yeah.
What?
That was insane. That was with Papa Roach, Limp Bizkit, Eminem, and Exhibit.
Hold on. So M and Fred Durst were friends they made it cool because they were beefing.
Yeah, it probably was from that tattoo. I have no idea on that, but yeah, that was cool. And that was one of the biggest concerts one of the first biggest concerts I really had ever gone to by myself. Well, I was with my brother on it, but that was the first one. And then M's just M. M's just the man. So we've got to have him on there at least.
Let's have him go right there.
Yeah.
Right after Hasbulla and Zach, Eminem, the real Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers comes out. He's setting it off. He's playing till I collapse. He's playing everything. The real Slim Shady stand. He brings out thousands of stands, and they're just kind of just in the dome.
That's right.
Just walking around the crowd.
Yeah.
Bleach hair, white shirt, black pants. Just walking around.
That's perfect.
I love it. Coming up, I'm going to pick this next one. Coming up after Eminem, a group that I had a lot of fun with when I was younger, Sum 41.
Nice.
Sum 41 comes out. They do Fat Lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tight. That'll be perfect.
A little Canadian love there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sum 41 comes out, and these is friends too. So like Eminem comes out, he brings 50 Cent, he can bring out Dr. Dre, he can bring out his friends.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Sum 41. They might do a duet with No Doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, they might bring out, who knows? They can bring out whoever they want to, right? Yeah. Special guests.
That's right.
Now we got to wrap up the festival a little bit more. The lights are going dimmer, right? Pyrotechnics are going off. It's the co-main event. This is the group or the band or the artist that's going to open up for the main event. Who is this co-main?
Oh,
and again, it could be dead or alive.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Led Zeppelin.
Woo! Zeppelin. I dig it. Now, I'm assuming
he's going to bring out a guest artist, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, though. He's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, or I guess I should say the band.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Just because I want to see Mark Knopfler in my dome. Yeah, he's got to be there. He's a stud guitar player.
I love it.
But anyway.
And I'm assuming is the main event, is that Tool?
It's got to be Tool, man. And they can bring on whoever they want, whenever they want. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Tool.
Okay.
Unless you got something different, but
no, Tool. I think Tool's great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, who's Grohl with? What band is Grohl with?
I'm not gonna say the N word, but Nirvana. But no, he's.
He said the N word.
I hate Nirvana, man.
You don't like Nirvana?
No, not at all.
Why? You don't like Smells Like Teen Spirit?
I don't know.
Come on.
I mean, you got my head bopping, I guess, for it.
Think about the drums on that song too.
That's David Grohl right there on the drums for sure. So yeah, it's
What's the other band? What's his latest band?
You asked me all these questions and I could say them off the top of my head.
Foo Fighters.
Day. Yeah, there you go. But I can't. When you ask me on the spot, it's typical. It's like I don't know. It's Foo Fighters. But I almost said Nirvana, man. But yeah, I mean, he was the drummer for Nirvana.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, that's his drum beat there.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder he plays that when he's doing sound checks.
Yep.
Did you hear about his story with Prince?
Mm-mm.
So he drummed with Prince. He's like, this was the craziest thing that's ever happened in my life. Prince was performing, and he was, I think he opened up, or he was just on the show or whatever, and he hopped on the drums, and he was jamming with Prince during sound check. And Prince, they actually performed a song. He was like, me and Prince got down. He was like, there was no video or anything. Nobody seen this live jam session between him and Prince. And that's how magical Prince was. That's another artist that he did all his own music, right? He owned all his music. He was the one that like gave the middle finger to the man that was like, no, you're not going to own my music.
Yeah.
You're not going to do this. I know what you guys are trying to do. And that's why I love Prince. That's why, to me, Prince is the greatest musician to ever live.
That's crazy. Yeah, he could be in our dome. He could be in the dome. But that's when you're saying something that's not recorded, no video, and I say, man, I lose sleep on all the music I won't ever get to see. That would be one of them. But at the same time, that was their moment. That sometimes you don't want anybody else. That was theirs. Like you don't want anybody else to hear that. You don't want that blasted all over the place. That was their moment. That's a cool story. I haven't heard that.
I'll send you the interview that he talked about. It's
Perfect.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's way cool.
Unorganized Chaos in Wyoming. Get your tickets now. Unorganizedchaos.com.
That's right.
All right, man. Let's wrap this thing up.
Cool.
Jackson, where can the people follow you? What's coming up? Why? We'll just talk about the fights coming up and whatnot.
Man. I'm gonna pull this up too. I had to ask Sajan. Sajan's our crew guy, but behind the scenes website guy too. We've got we're obviously going to the Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls. We'll be up there. Tickets, man, though, if you get on fiercefightingchampionship.com website, those are going quick, and I think they even just started like actually releasing and selling the tickets like this week. Or obviously that doesn't make sense, but like they were marketing the tickets, so they were already going way in advance, pretty quick, which we're just pumped for. To see the Idaho. The problem down here, it's not really a problem. There's just so much more you can do on a Friday, Saturday night here in Utah, where, but up in Idaho, there's not as much things going on. So it's kind of cool that we're bringing everybody to it. And that's what their Saturday or Friday. Yeah, it will be Friday night. No, Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night. Cause,
February 11th.
February 11th. Yep. Then March, we're going to be up in Clearfield, March 18th. That's when we're going to do a contender series up there. That's when we got a lot more amateurs, fighters, and we've been doing them down in Orem, Utah, down south, but we'll be going up north to Clearfield, do that. That should be a fun show. And then April, we're going back to the Maverick Center, April 7th. So, sorry, March 18th is the Clearfield one, so it'll get you tickets up. Well, look for the fighters. They'll have paper tickets on that one. They won't be doing those online. And then April 7th, we'll be at the Maverick Center again. I think the cards are getting worked up for that. I don't know who's in the works. They kind of keep me out of the loop on that one until they start blasting them. But
every fight is electric. Yeah. If you want to see any of this, if you want to see the lineup, just follow on social media, Fierce Fighting Championship on Instagram, or just go on to fiercefightingchampionship.com. But April.
Yeah, April's the next one in Maverick Center, and then just from there, we keep going, man. We keep going.
Awesome, bro. And what's your personal socials?
Mine's hoops.jackson. I say hoops. My last name is pronounced hoops actually, but you got it. When you walk into a room, you have to say hoops. What's up? That's how it goes. But HOOPES.Jackson is the Instagram. I've got the YouTube page on there. Jackson Hoops on the YouTube page. That one's it's not fantastic, but it's just got all the
all the emotion. It's all emotion on there. It's got all the tunes and everything you can watch. That's just my more personal stuff. That has nothing to do with the fights, really. Just jamming guitars and drums. But then, yeah, Facebook as well. I don't have the Spotify's or anything like that. So, yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Follow the Fierce page as well.
Have you ever worked on any original music?
I've got some songs, so I need to do that too. That's kind of another reason why I don't go to open mic nights, because I don't have original material.
Yeah.
So that, thanks, man. There's just another thing now I got to go do. No
Add it to the list.
More homework from Dre. Appreciate it. Thanks. I'm gonna be busy all night.
Hey, you're welcome.
But that's why I got to get some of those in, because you can play covers all day, which I love. I love to do it, but yeah, we got to make it happen. Write some originals. Yeah.
No doubt, Jackson. I appreciate you coming through. DreRawka on Instagram, DreRawka. Merch is on the website. Go get your merch right now. allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. Big shout out to my man Waldo. Fierce Fighter Championship. My man Waldo, Free Temptation Marketing. If you need photos, videos, he got you covered. And now, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to blast it out anyway. Teeth whitening. He does teeth whitening. So if you want to get your pearly whites more pearly white, hit my man's up. I hope y'all have the day you deserve. Protect your light. We out. Peace.
Thanks,